There comes a morning in everybody's life when the world feels heavier than your own heartbeat. When you open your eyes and instantly wish you could go back to sleep because reality feels too loud. You're tired, drained, and walking through life on emotional autopilot. But even on those mornings, something deep inside you whispers, "Get up anyway. Don't tap out today, not today." Because this could be the day everything finally shifts. And that's exactly where this story begins. Not in a perfect moment, not during some big win, but in the kind of morning where nothing feels right and everything feels complicated. A morning where you don't feel strong, but you still show up. A morning where you're not sure if you're blessed, until you realize the blessing is that you woke up at all. People talk about strength like it's something you're born with. No, real strength, that's built, brick by brick, morning by morning, pain by pain. And most of the time you don't even realize you're getting stronger until life throws something at you that would have destroyed the old you. That's when you see it. All those mornings you pushed yourself became armor, quiet armor. This story ain't about being perfect. It's about being real. It's about waking up when your world feels messy. It's about learning how to walk when nobody is clapping. It's about building the kind of strength that doesn't break just because life gets loud. So let me take you back to where the shift really began. The moment life left you standing alone. There was a season, maybe you've lived it too, where everything and everyone fell apart at the same time. The people who promised they'd stay, they dipped. The ones who said, "You can count on me," they ghosted. Friends drifted. Family stayed quiet. And life felt like one long hallway with no doors, no exits, just silence. You sat with your thoughts and wondered what you did wrong, why everybody left, why support vanished when you needed it the most, why God stayed silent when your prayers sounded desperate. You replayed every conversation in your mind, trying to figure out the moment people decided you weren't worth staying for. But here's the plot twist nobody sees coming. You weren't being abandoned. You were being positioned. Sometimes God strips your circle because he's trying to strengthen your spine. Sometimes he removes voices so you can finally hear his. Sometimes he lets people walk out because where you're going, they can't go. But back then, you didn't see any of that. You only felt the loneliness, the type that sits on your chest, the type that makes the morning feel empty, the type that makes you question your worth. You woke up every day carrying battles nobody saw. You pushed through pain nobody checked on. You kept going without applause, without support, without a shoulder to lean on. And honestly, that's where the real strength was forming, in silence. In the mornings when you got up anyway, when silence becomes your teacher, there is a kind of silence that's scary. But there's also a silence that saves you. At first, the silence felt like punishment, a slap in the face, a reminder that you were fighting alone. But slowly, you started hearing something else in that quiet space, your own voice, your own thoughts, your own desires, and deeper than that, you started hearing God in ways you never had before. In the silence, you began to understand things people couldn't teach you. That not everyone who walks with you is meant to walk forever. That being left alone doesn't mean you're unworthy. It means you're being rebuilt. That depending on people for strength will always leave you empty, and that the strongest version of you only exists after the world stops clapping. Silence started shaping you. It became your mirror. It became your stretching ground. It became your training camp. You learned how to sit with your thoughts instead of running from them. You learned how to breathe through the anxiety instead of letting it drown you. You learned how to talk to God without screaming for attention. You learned that calm is power, and solitude is a blessing most people don't want, but absolutely need. The turning point. Every story has a moment where everything flips. For you, that moment came on a random morning. Nothing special. No big motivational speech. No sunrise that looked magical. No dramatic background music. Just morning. You sat on the edge of your bed with that same heaviness. But something felt different this time. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic, just a quiet realization that hit your soul like a soft punch. Nobody's coming to save me, but I can save myself. You walked to the mirror, tired eyes, messy hair, heart still bruised. But you saw something you hadn't seen in a long time, a fighter. Becoming the strongest version of you. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, something inside you shifted so deeply that even you couldn't ignore it. The old version of you. They would break over tiny inconveniences. They would panic when people left. They would crumble under pressure. They would chase validation. They would beg to be understood. They would shrink in silence. But the new you walk with quiet confidence. You stay calm under pressure. You don't need 10 people to remind you of your worth. You don't beg for love. You attract better. You respect your energy. You trust God's timing. You understand that solitude is strength, not punishment. You are no longer controlled by fear, guilt, or loneliness. You're guided by purpose, clarity, and faith. People started noticing too. You seem different. You look more peaceful. You're glowing lately. You're handling things better. That's what God does. That's what mornings of discipline do. That's what learning to be strong on your own creates. A version of you that can't be shaken. Final motivational push. The message you needed today. Listen closely. You didn't survive everything you've survived just to stay the same. You didn't walk through fire just to come out weak. You didn't cry all those nights just to stay broken. You didn't lose people just to lose yourself. You didn't endure pain just to quit now. You are here today because you were meant to get stronger. You were meant to rise. You were meant to rebuild. You were meant to outgrow who you were. You were meant to start again with more wisdom, more clarity, and more faith. So wake up tomorrow with intention. Wake up blessed. Wake up chosen. Wake up grounded. Wake up ready. Wake up knowing God didn't bring you this far to abandon you now. If this message hit your soul today, don't bounce without dropping something in the comments. I'm learning to be strong with God, even on my own. Like the video, subscribe for more messages, and share it with someone who needs strength today.